Hi guys, welcome. Okay, so I actually promised one of my friends that I would start making videos like this because he likes to listen to these. Someone likes to listen to me talk. Anyway, so this subject came up today, and things like this come up a lot, very similar. It's actually the same situation. It's just different people or different scenarios, but it's the same, it comes back to the same thing. So let's say, for example, that you have kids and you're divorced and your ex has a partner that has kids, and then you have a partner that has kids, and there's a lot of kids that are intermingling and lots of parents and so on and so forth. So let's just say, for example, that your kid has got starting to feel a little bit jealous or upset that the parent is spending time with another child or showing the other child affection. It's very common. It's very common for a kid to feel jealous, even in their own family. Like, for example, when my brother was born and people made a fuss over him, for some reason, people making a fuss over him in my brain equaled that I wasn't as good enough, or I wasn't. Like, if he was cute, I wasn't cute because, like, they were fussing over him. Oh, he's so cute, he's so cute, he's so cute. So I felt like, well, then I must not be good enough. Now, I think that way back when I grew up, and I think that a lot of us growing up, I don't think that, people really didn't think too much about how children feel, or didn't realize how much they know and how aware they are. But nowadays, children, they're very aware, and they're very smart, and they know everything. And we did back then too. But I don't think that our parents realized it. So what if your kid's expressing some kind of resentment or jealousy for somebody else's kid? So common, it happens all the time. And now more than ever, I mean, when I was growing up, we didn't have that many families that were split, at least when we were that young. And by the time you got into high school, you did, it was that was different. But there weren't all that many of us that came from split families when we were really young. Nowadays it's really common. I mean, nowadays it's really common to like have step parents and half brothers and sisters and step sisters and step brothers, and then children that have no mothers or children that have no fathers, and children that were artificially inseminated, right? What happens, like, I watched the Golden Girls. Blanche's daughter wanted to go and get artificially inseminated. She wanted a child. But think about it. Instead of thinking, well, the kid doesn't have a father, it's like, imagine how much somebody wanted that child to go and be artificially inseminated. So that's what you tell the child. Like, think about how much you were wanted, that somebody went through that, because that's how badly they wanted you. So, it's the way that we look at things. If you're coming from lack, fear, jealousy, those are all low vibration emotions. So you're going to cultivate more of that. So if you try to, make other people don't be affectionate with the other kid, or don't give the other kid attention, or don't do that because it makes so-and-so feel bad, that's low vibration, right? Because somebody else feels bad because you're being nice to somebody else. It's very low vibration. Thinking more along the lines of being abundant when it comes to love. There's no shortage of love. There's no shortage of love. You can love your mother, you can love your father, you can love your dog, you can love your children, your partner's children, your partner's ex-wife's stepchildren. There's no shortage of love. There's no limit. It's not, I only have enough love for Dylan, or now I don't love Dylan anymore because Avery is here. Like, it doesn't work like that. There's enough. There's more than enough. There's plenty. The more love there's gonna be. There's no limit. So if you kind of attack the problem more from a feeling an emotional place of being a little bit higher, rather than don't be nice to that kid because it makes your kid feel bad. Explain to your kid that there's no limit. It's unlimited. It's unlimited. I can love you. I can love Dylan. I can love my parents. I can love cats. I never had a cat, but they're okay. But this way, the kid it starts to understand that it's unlimited, because what's going to happen is it's only going to come back and hurt the kid. Jealousy only hurts you. It doesn't hurt anybody else. The person you're jealous of is not hurt. They don't care. The person that is fearful and in lack and in vibrating in jealousy, that's going to cultivate more of that jealousy, insecurity, and it's going to come back to them. It's not going to hurt the other person. So if you look at these situations, like, there's more than enough for everyone. I mean, unless it's something extreme, like I'm buying this person's kids all these beautiful gifts and my kid gets nothing. That's different. But if it's just, everyday interaction or the kid being around, because you have to look at it long term. If the opposite partner winds up marrying this person that has these children, now they're stepsisters or stepbrothers or whatever. And now they also may have a child together at some point. His child, her child are not going to be the only children. So, and then you can't turn it, right? You can't teach, you shouldn't be nice to that kid because it makes your kid feel bad, and then turn around 5 years later and say, well, now you guys are brother and sister. It's always better to come from a place of love rather than lack, always. Or fear. Fear and jealousy, very low vibration, and the only person it ends up hurting is you, always. And then it also breeds deceit, because then there may be situations where the partner may be with the stepchild and say something like, let's say they went out for ice cream or something. Oh, well, don't tell Susie Q because Susie Q will be upset. Or don't do this because, and then it's like becomes deceitful. Instead, come from a place of love and abundance, and you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. There can never be too much love. You can have 5 dogs, you love them all. You can have 5 kids, you can love them all. There's no limit. If you start, teaching that don't show him that you care about that kid because it makes him feel bad, then we're coming from a place of lack. It's lack. And then now this kid grows up believing that if everybody doesn't do what they want them to do, they don't love them. And that's not true. So this goes on even further. Now that's when it comes to kids, but what happens with adults? Now, I've discussed it before. Men and women think very differently. Women tend to need a lot of constant contact, a lot of constant communication. If you don't answer them right away, they think something's wrong. Men are different. Like, men can put the phone down and walk away from it, or they start playing a football game, or they're talking about cars, and they just do not have their phone in their hand 24/7. It can be different. If you come from a place of lack, you're going to cultivate more lack. If you come from a place of fear and jealousy, that's what you're going to cultivate. So when you're looking at situations, that's a great question to ask yourself. Why am I feeling like this, and where is it coming from? So it's like this. Say, for example, you always hang out with your boyfriend on Saturday, okay? And then something comes up on Saturday, right? And he's like, I'm going to go to this baseball game with Joe on Saturday. The woman tends to take it like, well, then that means he doesn't want to spend time with me. No, it doesn't. It means he wants to go to the baseball game. See, one thing doesn't equal another. The problem is that our brains are logical. Women think very much out of the box, men don't. And the woman programs things in her brain. He's going to the game, he doesn't care about me, otherwise he would want to spend time with me, and then she feels bad. She cultivates more of feeling bad because that's what she's feeling, and then she gets on the phone and she calls her friend and she tells, ba, 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 and then they go back and forth. Oh, and if he cared about you, he would be with you, and this is your day together, and I wouldn't stand for that. And this is like a perpetual thing. Now, all of this negativity is going out into the universe. And what happens? It's going to come back at you. It's not coming back to him. He's at the game. He's watching the game and he's having a good time. And he has no idea that he did anything wrong and that you're upset with him. Because men don't think like that. If something comes up, men, oh, girl, my buddy got tickets. I'm going to go. So you have to stop and think, where is this emotion coming from? Do I really believe that he does not want to see me, or that he does not care about me because he's choosing to go to a game? Is that what you really believe? Because if that's what you believe and you're sending out those vibrations, that's what you're going to get. You're going to keep getting back those situations where something keeps coming up that's more important than you, more important than you, it's more important than you. You're going to keep getting that back. So now, I'm not saying, it's not like if it happens all the time. Like if somebody is constantly breaking plans with you, that's different. But I'm saying, like, if this is just, we normally hang out on Saturdays, but this Saturday something came up, he's going to do something else, and he's not expressing to me that he cares, that he's not going to see me. That's coming from a very fearful, negative emotion, which is a low vibration. So ask yourself, what is bringing up that emotion? And attack that, because he's not thinking, oh, well, fuck her, I don't want to see her. What I want to do is go, hang out with my buddies. He's only hanging out with the buddies because something came up. Like, it was, it's like, it's not like a big deal. He's not thinking A plus B equals C. He's just thinking, oh, yeah, hey, oh yeah, I'll go. Okay, great. Not like a big deal. But we tend to overanalyze everything and we make it mean something, and it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. So I think that if you can step back and look at things a little bit different, there's going to be a lot less question in your personal relationships. Because if you had a relationship that's lasted 3 years, let's just say 3 years, how many times did this person decide to do something that didn't include you? Or how many times did this person break plans? Like, things start to get complicated once you've been divorced or remarried, or there's a lot of kids, and then there's older parents that need help. Like, the things tend to get complicated and things come up. But think of it like this, which is something that one of my friends always says, and I agree with her. There's one woman who would always be complaining about her boyfriend, always. He's got to take care of his mom, and he's got to do this, and he's got to help his sister with that. And my friend would say to her, but I don't think that makes him a bad person. Because he's helping his mom and because he's helping his sister doesn't make him a bad person. It makes him a good person. See? So try to take it for, you know what I'm saying? Like, if the guy is putting his mother, father, sister, child, and making them important and taking care of them, makes him a good guy, not a bad guy. So it's a good check on yourself. If before you react to something, you think about what the emotion is behind it. Like, before you tell somebody, our child doesn't like you being nice to that kid, or making a fuss over that kid, or touching that kid, or spending time with that kid, right? Because that's coming from a very low place. It's coming from a low vibration. It's coming from jealousy and fear. That's what it is. And that's going out into the universe, and it's going to come back to the person that's doing that. It's okay to tell the kid, you know what, it's okay to feel like that. And I understand that you feel like that, but what if you looked at it like this? Because you know what? Over the course of your life, there's always going to be somebody else. There's always going to be another situation. There's always going to be a reason to feel bad if you allow yourself to, or if you allow yourself to feel less important. There's no reason why we can't spend time with Sally, Bobby, and Tim. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's enough for all of us. So think of it that way, because it comes from more of a loving and abundant place rather than lack and fear. Okay, that's about it. I'll see you guys later. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.